This is the DC Circuits Lab. In this experiment, we'll be measuring resistance and testing Ohm's law for networks of resistors and light bulbs.
This is a standard resistor. Its value of resistance is relatively constant over a wide temperature range and can be read from the colored bands or measured with a multimeter.
This is a potentiometer. It is a resistor with a variable value that changes when you rotate the knob.
This is a wire-wound resistor. These are often used to handle large amounts of current, and in this case are used to protect the bulbs in the circuit.
These are digital multimeters. They can be used to measure resistance, voltage, and current. In this experiment, we will be using one for voltage and one for current. For further information on multimeters, consult the multimeter video.
This is a DC power supply. This one provides a fixed output of 13.8 volts. Set up the circuit as shown in the lab manual. Make sure that you set up the circuit as fast as we did in this video, or it will explode. Once your circuit is set up, turn on the power supply and multimeters. Make sure that each meter is set to measure the appropriate quantity and has the leads attached properly, that is, one lead in the common jack and one for the quantity you wish to measure. Once they're operational, you can see that they are reading a current and voltage. Rotating the potentiometer knob changes its resistance and thus changes the measured voltage and current. Take readings at several different potentiometer settings so that you can plot voltage versus current in your report.
Replace the resistor and repeat your measurements for the new one. In exercise 2, we'll be measuring the total resistances of parallel and series networks of resistors.
Replace the single resistor from exercise 1 with a pair of resistors in series. You will measure the total resistance of the pair in the same way as before. Note that your voltmeter must be across both resistors, not just one.
Similarly, measure the resistance of the other networks as shown in the lab manual. In exercise 3, we'll be investigating how light bulbs behave in a circuit.
Set up the circuit as shown in the lab manual. Do not forget the wire-wound resistor, as that will drastically shorten the life of the bulbs.
Replace the single bulb with two bulbs in series. Note the effect on the brightness. You will also need to do this with two bulbs in parallel and three bulbs combining series and parallel. In exercise 4, we'll be testing Ohm's law with a light bulb. Next, we'll return to the setup you used to measure the resistance of a standard resistor in exercise 1, but this time we'll use it to examine a light bulb.
Once again, set up the circuit as shown in your lab manual. As before, it is important to remember the wire-wound resistor to avoid prematurely burning out light bulbs. Plot the voltage versus current. Does Ohm's law apply to a light bulb? Thanks for watching the DC Circuits Lab. And yes, you must write your lab. Resistance is futile.